Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline from Creating My Garden, and today I wanted to do something different from all the regular gardening videos that we do. So I decided we would take a trip and tour one of the local garden centers that recently moved to a new location and check out what's in the store. So this place is called Dutch Growers. There's a couple locations in Saskatchewan, and as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful in this garden center. They have a lot of whimsical gardening related stuff that is very collectible, and it was a pure pleasure to check this place out. Their other location was amazing, but this thing is just over the top with beautiful items and wonderful plants. So I wanted to take you on a bit of a tour to see what they have here. And you can see that they have a bunch of collectibles here. There's some silk flowers, and there's a lot of pots and containers. Rob is with me here, and I am pushing a cart, and we're just came through the entrance and checking everything out. You can see here they have some gourmet coffees and teas, some champagne cups and glasses, different glassware. This is very cool. This side, this catches my eye with the bird feeders and the butterflies. I love butterflies. Butterflies, dragonflies, ladybugs, those are all my thing. Coming through here, this is very whimsical. The unicorn's very cool. I have a lot of stuff there for the garden, like the cats and the different wind catchers. You can see here more collectibles. It was a real maze for us to get through because it was so huge and so many items in here and so many different rows of stuff. It was hard for me to capture it all, but I tried to get a good look at it so you guys could just enjoy something different and see all the different opportunities there are to design and customize your garden to your own individual style. And that's what this place offers. From a price point perspective, they are not cheap. Let's put it that way. Things are pretty expensive. However, if you're looking for that one item you can't find anywhere, this would be the place that you would probably be able to find it. One thing I was looking for was some stepping stones here. You can see I'm checking the rack of stepping stones to see if there's anything there that is kind of what I'm looking for, but they didn't have it there. I tried not to catch too many people in the video and that kind of worked nicely around them. As you know, gnomes are one thing I love. These giant gnomes were so cool and so beautiful with the sunflowers. They were about $1,399 for these gnomes, and you can see there's some pet rocks in there, painted rocks, and the color scheme here is a sunflower scheme, and it's absolutely gorgeous. If you love sunflowers and love a sunny theme, this definitely would be up your alley other than the prices. This little guy over in the corner here, he was $9.99, but he was just beautiful. So I love the sunflowers, and the feeder is really cool with the sunflower on the end of it, although I think it would be kind of unusual, maybe even a little difficult to fill with that big sunflower on it, but it'd be worth a shot for sure since it's so unique. Once again, more gnomes here and mermaids. Mermaids are also a theme. They do carry a bit of a clothing line here and a few things. I didn't focus too much on that. Didn't really catch my interest clothing, but some people do come to these places and buy certain items when they're looking for something special in clothing or a certain, type of silk or something. They come here or cotton and get them. I had to check out these slippers though. I just thought the unicorn slippers are pretty darn cool, and they did catch my eye just because they were so fun. Is how I would put it. Now you can check out some of the candles, some of the pots, glasses. Um, Here's a ladybug theme, which is kind of neat. They have nice bright color for the garden, pots and hanging bird feeders. You can see some more. There's a lot of candles and things like that here too, but lots of wide open areas. You can see like the beautiful bird baths. The hummingbird feeders were gorgeous. The glass feeders, really liked them. And I don't know, it was just cute. Some of the whimsy in here that you see, like the gnome and the sunflower having a nap. That's kind of cute. That being said, if you like cute things, this is definitely the place to come. Or if you're a collector of garden memorabilia or garden items, this would be right up your alley as well. You see more bird feeders, more bird houses. The bird houses were neat. And kind of there's a little bit of an idea of some of the pricing. You can see the bird, but there's a strong bird theme here for sure. Usually when it comes to gardening, collectibles and design, birds do play a part in it. Cats are playing a part in it in particular in here, more than dogs actually. I didn't see a lot of stuff on dogs, a little bit, but I see more on cats. And of course, dragonflies. That one, the gold dragonfly, the lime green leaves, was absolutely gorgeous. I believe he was $100 for that. So, hopefully it's well made. It looked like it is to last in the garden because you know how the winds can be pretty powerful, really make a mess of things. As well, you want to be able to probably touch up the paint on them because it's something you're going to want to probably try to keep forever. These little gnomes here, the little rain gauges, were really quite nice. And they had really nice metal watering cans. It's getting harder and harder to find metal watering cans, I noticed. But you can see these gnomes are really cute. And then they had these stakes for the watering down below there for the rain gauges. So that's a good idea there. You can have rain gauges all over your yard if you wanted to. They had a little bit of a discount on their perennials when we were there. It was at 25% off. And here are some of the glass items. I love the giant butterfly stakes here. They were stunning. The design and the colors were amazing. Absolutely beautiful. I love anything glass or colorful, metallics. They all catch my eye. And you can even see the glass tulip there that you could put a light in it in the garden. That's me checking out the butterflies just because I thought they were so darn gorgeous. And then they had this old car decorated up kind of for fall in here with a rooster on the top of it and a dog doing the driving. I had to check that out. A little bit of a few dog things there. And then they have some of the portable greenhouses. And then we have wind chimes. Wind chimes and glass bird baths. And you can see the colors in the bird baths. Just were beautiful. I've always been a little leery of buying a glass bird bath, but these are so big. Very tempting to put something like that in the garden. I'm always afraid of them falling over or getting broken. I particularly like that one, the deeper colors. And the wind chimes are very pretty too. I've always had bad luck with wind chimes, that the wind just destroying them and finding them falling apart across the yard. So it would have to be something a little heavier duty than those, but you can see some of the beautiful things here that they have. So once we go through this door over here, we're now heading more into the garden area, and I think I consider this more the houseplant zone. And This first arrangement we come upon, first display in the store, is just breathless, and I don't find the video does it justice. It was just so pretty, but it gave me a lot of ideas of what you could do with it. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time showing you this with the gazing balls, and this has a frog theme to it with the cherry tree in it. Cherry tree is not real, but it's a great theme here and lots of great ideas. The mushrooms are just beautiful. So are the waterfalls, the fountains here. You can just see the color combo here is kind of greens, pinks, and whites, lime greens. With that tree, and the tree all had lights in it. And then there's another tree there, which would be kind of cool in the yard for a gnome house. If you're doing kind of a gnome theme, that would be neat. It's just, I don't know, it's just very magical. Some of the things that they've done in here and the way they put stuff together and that. Total change from their other store, which was a lot smaller and they didn't have the room to do all this stuff. I like the lily pads too. It was really hard to decide where I should go in here because there was so much to see. It was a little bit overwhelming, I found. It's like, which display do I go to next? These birds are fun. I like them. They have a bit of attitude. They're kind of silly, but yet fun. Lots of pots and more of a stone design, but they're all flower designed on them. Kind of a matrix on them. These gnomes were fun. Great colors for the garden. If you like the turquoises and your greens and your limes, there was a lot of that. And there's the snail. Love the snail. The snail I really wanted to take home. I didn't do it, but I loved the snail. And these owl planters, which is gorgeous, as well as these decorative metal signs and mirrors that you could put on your fences and on your house outside or on your garage to add whimsy to your yard. Those are really nice. Over here we start into the house plants. And what I liked about their houseplant displays, besides all the varieties and stuff, I mean, they were just beautiful, well-maintained displays, was the touch of whimsy that they had in the displays. Like you'd find the garden stakes in there. You'd find statues and gnomes and beautiful benches with turtles like this built into their displays. Done very well. It almost reminded me of the Bellagio, the way they built those turtles into the display. Lots of really neat ideas and just beautiful arrangements for a garden center. I felt they had done such a great job on this part. These little children with the rabbits and stuff is so sweet. You can see the skid steer there sitting in the middle of the floor and more pots. They have an amazing variety of pots. Oh, and that's a beautiful, beautiful fountain. Sorry, bird bath. Once again, nice watering cans of every color going. And this is where I was just overwhelmed by the amount of pots and the different colors and displays. Anything you could think of for a pot, I think they had it in these displays. You can see as I walk down the aisle here, because I didn't want to focus on one thing, just to give you a variety of the clay pots and the earth tones, combined with the ferns and the different foliage in here was really beautiful. It's like every time I spotted something, I turn around, there was something else to video for you guys to show you. Like these pots were just glorious. It's really hard not to go and take a whole bunch of items home. I noticed too some plants were also had a bit of color um, touches done to them to make them stand out, which was interesting. And here's a wall of your pink tones in your pots, and rose tones and grays. And you see there's definitely I got a nice gold theme going with all the houseplants. And here's another row of pots. And that area had a lot of succulents in it. And here's a wall of succulents, like just over full and brimming with colors and different types of foliage. And then you got these giant, beautiful, more pots in the blue tones. Like, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we had some standards for houseplants. And then the odd little waterfall tucked in. Another gorgeous, gorgeous pots there, and more waterfalls, all different kinds amongst the foliage, which I really appreciate that when they combine it in. I thought these were cute. The tips of these were just spray painted with metallic, which, is a good project, a person could do for around home and use your favorite color and just do the tips. You can see some more bird feeders. Another display of pots. See, that's what I mean, like pots and pots and more pots. Every color going. Just beautiful. There's another touch of whimsy. Couldn't help, I had to have it check him out. It was easy to miss those kind of things because they were in all the displays. The colors in this display were wonderful. The chartreuse colors with the deep greens and the different foliages. Great ideas for around the house or in your garden, depending on the zone you live in. That would work too. This is a very neat fountain, and they did have a bit of a dinosaurs theme going on too, I noticed, which was kind of neat. I know a lot of people like to collect the dinosaurs and stuff and put them in your garden. More birds, bird houses, those are neat. Bird tree. I don't know if I'd want to let a bird nest in them. I might put a plug in and plug it so that they can't nest in them and just hang it up and enjoy it. Lots of air cleaning plants in here, and there was air plants as well. There's lots of things to put into the home. Whoa, I went a little fast there. Elephant ears seem to be in ample supply. And beautiful clay pots with them. Caladiums. Begonias. And the variety that they have there, they have proven winners. Pot. They had a variety of different types of plant manufacturers in their facility. So they bought from, not just one brand, which was nice. You see more touches of whimsy here. Gargoyles, a lot of people like them. Look at this one. He's huge. That one looks like he's on, might be sitting on the toilet or something. Just the look on his face is a little odd. Oh, I love these. You know, the tiki look. Very cool. I see a lot of people putting more faces and stuff in the garden. And here they added a giant giraffe you could add to your garden if you so liked. If you were doing that, jungle theme, that's where I guess the giraffe would come in if you had that going on in your garden. You could incorporate those kind of elements. And these were all plants for fairy gardens and terrariums here, which is really nice. I really appreciated that they had these labeled and had specified what their use could be and how they could be used and had them all in here. I thought that was brilliant. And this was all the different sands and stuff you could use in building terrariums. They didn't have a lot of the different ornaments. Like that house was probably one of the few ornaments they had for terrariums, but they had a lot of the dirts and sands. They had the plants and things you could use. A lot of the glass pebbles and things like that. So, and these are beautiful. The colors, metallic colors caught my eye. And here's us trying to figure out if we can go out this door or not. And I don't think we can. Nope. So Rob was manning the cart for me. Because my actual goal of coming to Dutch Growers was to pick up a Chinook rose. I figured if anybody had any and I needed one for my garden area that I was working in, they would have it. And that's what I came for. But I got distracted by all the stuff as well and thought, hey, I'm going to share this with you guys so you can check out, some of the latest and greatest things for the garden. So now we're into the roses. Lots of hybrid teas and shrub roses. Different vines. There's your standard hibiscus. More pots, more clay pots. Nice glazed pots. I was finding some of the plants are starting to die back a little bit. I did notice that amongst them and that, but uh, the hanging containers were still beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I had to show you them and the colors that were in them just because they were so gorgeous. These ones particularly caught my eye with the yellow centers. I wasn't out at this greenhouse, or should I say garden center in the spring, but I'm sure it was just brimming with color. When you see all those empty tables and stuff, I'm sure there was a lot out here. I thought I'd check out a few more of the different containers here for you guys to see. Some of the different color combos that were used, like the yellow petunias with the black mambas. Different shades of petunias combined together in those arrangements. I mean, those containers are massive. And you kind of get a good idea of what plants will dominate when you go and check out containers in garden centers and that. You see what colors will stand out in an arrangement and take over and what ones kind of fade back. More pots. Now I think I'm trying to find my way into the next area because this garden center, the greenhouse part just goes on and on and on. It's just beautiful. It's a big glass structure. They're putting out the Christmas ornaments and starting to work on the displays. So you can see all the Christmas stuff coming in, which is kind of neat. I decided at this point when I seen the Christmas stuff coming out that I definitely had to come back here um, in the winter once it's all out and have a look. I bet you it's special. It'll probably put me in the Christmas spirit. These were the lilies they had. And some of the perennials, they had perennials on for 25% off. You can see the different yarrows. And a lot of people mulling around and buying perennials for the garden. They're good sized perennials. And they had a great selection still. I think those faces are just gorgeous. I think it's the warm honey brown color that floats my boat. All right, and owls. These owls are beautiful. And this is with the hydrangeas. I was gonna come and check it out myself. I asked Rob if he wanted to come. He said, yeah, he wanted to come and see the place because we've never been here yet, and it's been open a couple of years. So it was fun that he came along. We had a good time checking everything out and all the plants. And it's just such a huge facility, and I know the old facility really had a parking problem because in the spring when the bedding plants and stuff came out, it would be so packed and that there would be no place to park. So now that they have moved outside of the city, there's lots of parking. And here's the roses, and so the customer service person was helping me find the Chinooks. So I did get my Chinook rose that I wanted, so I was really happy. And he was also showing me other roses that he recommended that were great showstoppers in the garden. So this is one that he was recommending. I wasn't a fan of buying too many of the roses, and normally I'm all for recuperating plants, and but the roses had a lot of black spot and that, and I made sure when I picked the Chinook that I got that it didn't seem to be so susceptible to the black spot. So you'll see on these plants, they've seen better days, and they all pretty much need to be cut back. Lots and lots of black spot. So my recommendation for buying some of these roses to get them in the spring, unless you can find some that don't have the black spot on them, because you're pretty much cutting the entire plant back to deal with that black spot issue. It's too far gone to treat it. But definitely in the spring, I would consider coming out here and purchasing a couple of roses. They're well worth it. The Persian yellow I used to have in the yard, um, I eventually did get rid of it. It got too big and it was so thorny. It was horrible. So I am on the lookout for a new rose, but it won't be Persian yellow. I seem to gravitate toward yellows and oranges in the garden, pinks, purples. Normally I would do reds too, but I feel like with the color combos I have going right now that reds don't really fit into it. I'd have to do a separate display area in the garden. A garden section just for some of the reds, and I do reds and pinks and whites in that section if I did it. But see this, the coloring is what got my attention here because that color is just gorgeous. It's so beautiful in the garden. It goes with everything. The apricot tones I find go with absolutely everything in the garden. More faces for your garden if you like faces, all different sizes, all different kinds of stone. He's super cute. That tree was just lovely. Now we're back into more of the different kinds of shade plants. Rob really liked this area. He was checking out all different kind of shade plants for the gardens, and of course, hostas are a favorite of most people for shade because they're something you can count on. And then they had a water lily feature here, so pond plants that you could check out. So I just want to remind everyone, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos. I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. This is Jacqueline from Creating My Garden.